Hey everybody, this is Riff. How you doing out there? Today I was checking the diffs in the HBX 16889A Pro, and like a lot of these little RCs, you definitely want to check the diffs in them before you run them, because from the factory they either have little grease, no grease, or some other problem. Now these did have grease in them. In fact, they packed it very well, but the problem is with this grease is it's totally dried. It's dried out, and it's not even on the gears. It's just in there. So I'm gonna have to remove all that and repack them and put them back together. But that's just something I thought you guys will know about, let you know about, and you might want to correct that. So I'll get back to you in a little bit. Okay everybody, I got the diff cleaned out and repacked with I used Lucas lithium. This is what I like to use on my smaller models. It makes them run real quiet and cool, and it's nice and smooth now. And I'm going to grease the outside of it and put it back together, and then I'm going to do the back. See you in a little bit. Hey everybody, it's Riff again. I'm back. I got the rear of the HBX tore open, and same deal with the diff in the rear. It is packed with grease, but it's all dried out and not really on the gears. So I'm going to do the same thing, repack it with the white lithium and put it all back together. Get back with you in a bit. Okay everybody, got the diff all repacked and got it put back in there and lubed up on the outside as well. I'm getting ready to button it all back up and spin up the battery, and spread the grease throughout the diffs real well. Be back in a little bit. Hey everybody, this is Riff again. I've got it all finished up, buttoned back up, and the body on it, and ready to test it and run the grease through the gears a little better. I really like this little HBX. It's a sweet little car. It's really well made for the money, being that it's brushless and has oil shocks and all the good stuff. Metal driveline. All the gears throughout the whole thing were metal too. It's great. Let's give this a little spin up. Awesome. Awesome, good to go. Everything's smoother, quieter, and it's going to last much longer now that I did that. I'm really glad I took the time to do it. Any of you that have worked on these small models before already know what I'm talking about, but for those of you out there who have never done it, sometimes working on these smaller models can be a little bit fiddly. Meaning that there's a lot of little tiny parts, really small screws, and everything's tighter to get into, but you can do it. Just take your time, be patient, take pictures beforehand if you have to. If you're not sure how something goes back together, take a picture of it and then, you know, when you go to reassemble it, you can see. The other thing that's a big point is keeping your screws managed. And what I'm meaning by that is a lot of the screws, you know, on a lot of these models, you'll find that many of the screws are the same size, same thread throughout, which really makes things a lot easier. But on some things, you know, they do use like a smaller thread or a thinner screw shaft or whatever. So you got to be really careful when you're taking stuff apart that you organize your screws, saying, okay, these screws, you know, go to the A-arms, or these screws are, you know, for the shock mount, you know, like that, because you don't want to get stuff mixed up. And as long as you do that, you'll have no problems. The other thing I will say is remember not to drive down too hard. You know, these are plastic. You know, the diff bodies are plastic. You know, everything you're screwing into is plastic. So don't torque it too hard. You know, you can strip it out. Just, you know, snug them up till you can feel the resistance, and that's good. You know, don't overdo it. And as long as you do that, these things will last a really long time. I guess that's about it for this one. Oh, there is a couple other things I wanted to say about the grease in the diffs. Now, as I showed you at the beginning of this video, you know, both of the diffs did have plenty of grease in it, and that was really nice to see, I have to admit. However, the grease that they used was dry, clumped up in the side, and not doing anything. And I mean, I commend them that they put grease in it. And this is not something with just cheap brands. I have found this to be the case even on big name brands. But and occasionally you'll even find some of these things with no grease or oil in the diffs at all, and even in the big name brands it does happen. But what I will say is, you know, I commend them for, you know, HBX, and I think it's High Boxing is the actual company. High Boxing, HBX is the same company. I commend that they put it in there and put a lot of it, which was nice to see. It just wasn't like on the gears. So I really like using the Lucas White Lithium on these smaller models, and the reason I like to use it is because it clings to the gears. It stays on the gears. It doesn't like move to the side and then go off of them. It stays on the gear where it belongs, and that's why it's really excellent for these smaller models. It also quiets them down and just makes them run so smooth. So I hope you enjoyed this little tear down of the HBX diff, and stay tuned. Riff out.